Good morning, 819S, riding into work. It's a rainy day. I'm on Jerry today. I'm on my Tact. Usually take Vivi on rainy days, but I don't know. Just today, I grabbed Jerry instead. One reason I don't like taking Jerry in the rain is because he's got a soft bag on the back. It's cloth. And it's not really waterproof, so that means the bag gets really wet and the contents of the bag get really wet. Wow, Ferrari. That was unexpected. I'm riding in the rain. Today the bag has nothing inside, so I'm not as worried, but I do worry because I want the bag to be dry the next time I'm going to use it. This season in Japan is known as Tsuyu. Tsuyu is also known as rainy season. The kanji characters for it are interesting because it sort of translated as plum rain, like the fruit plum and rain, Tsuyu. So this is the plum rains. Tsuyu depends on what area of Japan you live in, but lasts usually May, June, and then sometimes into July a little bit. You know what? I was going to turn, but I'm going to keep going straight. And yeah, the rain gets heavy. It's sometimes unpredictable. Starts and stops. It rains often. It rains. Yeah, it just rains often. I wanted to say every day, but I don't know if every day is not necessarily the right way to say it. Tsuyu is the season where it's the least fun to ride because you have to be prepared with your rain gear and you have to let your helmet dry out. Even with my full face, the interior of the helmet got a little bit wet because the humidity is kind of high. And the lower part of the helmet, the pads get wet and can kind of absorb up through the helmet. And on a day like today, or in fact, I shouldn't say day like today because this morning it rained really hard. But in weather like right now, the helmet doesn't get so wet internally. I have my goggles on too today because I don't want my glasses and everything else to get really wet inside the helmet. And I wear my raincoat, my rain pants, and then I have neoprene gloves that I usually wear when I ride in the rain. They are not so protective in the sense of abrasion protection when it comes to crashing, but they are neoprene, so they are waterproof, and they're a bit warm. I don't know, my fingers still get a little bit cold in them, but they're obviously way better than wearing no gloves whatsoever. These neoprene gloves are actually great. I bought them as an experiment in the winter to see if they would be warmer than regular winter gloves. And again, from my experience, no, but I guess your mileage may vary. My wife liked them, but I think I could be wrong about this, but I think she didn't like the smell because they're neoprene, so they leave like a little bit of a rubbery smell behind. And then I think the fingers didn't line up with her fingers perfectly, so she didn't like them in that aspect. But I think as far as warmth, she was doing all right with them. And they were affordable. They were under $10, at least from my memory. They were under $10. They were like 1,000 yen, something like that. Maybe 1,200 yen, so that would still be under $10 US. They have a rubber patch on the inside of the hand, and then they're just straight neoprene on the outside. I use them in conjunction with the little like pouches that you can attach to the handlebars, because the pouches that you can put over the hand cover that you can put over will block the main majority of the wind. Then you need something just a little bit warm to keep your hands warm, because the air inside does get cold even with the cover over. But again, for me they didn't work. I needed something a little bit more padded. When Tsuyu comes, people still ride their bikes and walk to work and do everything they normally do, but everywhere wears rain suits, carries umbrellas. You see a lot of people walking around with umbrellas all the time. Umbrellas are one thing that can and do get stolen regularly. It's the weirdest thing. In Japan, if you put your wallet on the table in Starbucks, if you put your laptop on the table somewhere and you walk away, you can walk away 10, 20, 30 minutes. The chance of somebody touching it is extremely low. If you leave your umbrella in an umbrella stand in front of a busy train station and use the bathroom and come back, it could be gone. I have a few theories on it. One is that the majority of the umbrellas look identical. So they're all basically clear cover with a white handle. The size is about the same, the shape was about the same. Especially in the past, they were basically, it was hard, unless you put an identifying feature, you wrote your name, you put a colorful sticker on it, something like that. They all look pretty much identical. And I think people just didn't care enough to pay attention to which one was theirs. So as long as they put an umbrella in, they took an umbrella out, they didn't care. For people who have expensive or fashionable ones, obviously they would care, but for the standard generic umbrella, my theory is that, yeah, people just didn't care. So they put an umbrella in, they take any umbrella out, and then if you're looking for your umbrella, it might not be there, but you've basically swapped with somebody unknowingly. And the other reason, I think, is because umbrellas get damaged so easily. I don't know if this makes sense, but people often forget or damage their umbrella. They just forget to bring it. They didn't check the weather forecast in the morning, so they just take one. They damage it. In typhoon season, and sometimes when a day of heavy rain, the wind will flip the umbrella inside out and then can break the struts on the inside. And you find that's another thing, people typically don't throw garbage anywhere in Japan, but you'll find broken umbrellas all over the place at the end of a typhoon. It's like, usually people are good enough to bring their umbrellas home, but in certain cases umbrellas have their own special rules that are different from other situations. This is really mysterious to me. And strangely, when I first came here, this was true, but nowadays I don't think it's as true anymore. Bicycles were also in this same category. My friends had their bicycles stolen several times, and what usually happened is the drunk guy would be coming home from the bar, didn't have a way to get home, maybe missed the last train, and he'd just grab the closest bicycle and drive home. If it was locked up, obviously he couldn't take it, and people wouldn't attempt to break locks to do it. But in Japan, bicycles don't typically have like a cable lock or a chain lock or something like that. Again, people who have a specialty bicycle may use something like that, but the majority of people, there's a locking half-circle moon-shaped ring thing on the back wheel of a bicycle. You put your key in and it opens it up, which basically allows the wheel to spin freely. And then when you park, you push the moon-shaped thing back into the wheel. It goes through the spokes, and it stops the wheel from spinning, and that's it. So there's not chained to anything. Like these bicycles here, just have a rear wheel lock that holds them in place. And so another funny thing, not stealing necessarily, but if you see people walking down the street with a bicycle, they're usually holding it by the seat and lifting the rear tire off the ground. That's because the front tire has no locking mechanism on it. The rear tire does. Maybe the person had forgotten their key, or their daughter left their bike or son or daughter left their bike at the station, and the dad's got to go home and he's got to carry the bike all the way back to the house. It's definitely interesting to see those two specific things. Yeah, bicycles I think not as much these days, but umbrellas still get stolen pretty regularly. So be careful. Alright, I'm almost to work. If anyone's out there watching, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's a chillier one today. I don't know the exact temperature, but it feels like 16 to 18 right now, if you ask me. And even with the neoprene gloves, my hands are getting a little on the chilly side. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Ride safe.